The Great War, later known as World War I, forever changed the course of history. Between 1914 and 1918, over 16 million lives were lost, empires crumbled, and the world was plunged into a conflict unlike any other before it. But what truly caused World War I? Was it the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, or was it something far more complex? To understand the true causes of World War I, we need to dive deeper into the tangled web of alliances, nationalism, imperial ambitions, and military strategies that had been simmering for decades. By the turn of the 20th century, Europe was a continent brimming with nationalist fervour. This wasn't just a pride in one's country. It was a dangerous, aggressive form of nationalism that convinced entire populations that their nation was superior to all others. In Germany, France, Russia, Austria-Hungary and the Balkanist movements fueled rivalries that were becoming more hostile by the year. Nowhere was this more explosive than in the Balkans. Serbia, bolstered by a strong nationalist movement, sought to unite all South Slavs into a single nation. This ambition directly threatened the stability of Austria-Hungary, a multi-ethnic empire already struggling to maintain control over its diverse population. Nationalism wasn't just a force within Austria-Hungary, it was pulling the empire apart. In 1914, tensions between Serbia and Austria-Hungary had reached a breaking point. But this was just the latest chapter in a long history of growing animosities. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand was simply the spark that ignited the volatile situation. Europe, by the early 20th century, had become a powder keg of alliances. These alliances were originally designed to maintain balance and peace, but ended up doing the opposite. The two major alliances were the Triple Entente, comprising Britain, France and Russia, and the Triple Alliance, made up of Germany, Austria-Hungary and Italy. These alliances meant that a conflict between any two countries could drag multiple nations into war. After the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. This set off a chain reaction. Russia, allied with Serbia, mobilized its forces. Germany, supporting Austria-Hungary, declared war on Russia. France, allied with Russia, joined in. Soon, almost all of Europe was engulfed in a war that few had truly wanted. While Europe was simmering with nationalist and alliance-based tensions, the race for global dominance was another critical factor. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw European powers carving up vast parts of Africa and Asia into colonies. Britain, France and Germany were locked in an imperial competition seeking resources and prestige in distant lands. This imperial rivalry extended far beyond Europe's borders. Germany, a relatively new power, wanted its place in the sun. But its imperial ambitions put it at odds with Britain, the world's dominant colonial power, and France, which had long held colonies across the globe. Economic competition only heightened these tensions as nations vied for markets, resources and influence. Imperialism wasn't just about land, it was also about economics. The Industrial Revolution had turned Europe's major powers into global economic giants, and control of resources was seen as essential to maintaining their status. This economic and imperial rivalry set the stage for a much larger conflict. By the time war broke out in 1914, Europe had been preparing for conflict for decades. This era saw the rise of militarism, where the military establishment gained significant influence. Were engaged in an arms race. Germany and Britain in particular were locked in a naval arms race. Germany wanted to challenge Britain's dominance at sea, leading to the construction of massive battleships. Major powers had developed detailed war plans. Germany's Schlieffen Plan aimed to quickly defeat France by invading through Belgium, but this strategy depended on rapid mobilization and a belief that war This belief in quick, decisive victories was one of the great miscalculations of the time. Military leaders on all sides failed to anticipate the drawn-out, devastating nature of modern warfare. As a result, Europe's leaders marched confidently into a war they thought would be over by Christmas, but instead it became a nightmare of trench warfare and attrition. So what caused World War I? It wasn't just one event, it was a perfect storm of nationalism, imperialism, militarism and alliances. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand may have been the spark, but the real cause was far deeper. A web of interlocking factors that had been building for decades. The Great War was not inevitable, but once the wheels of conflict began to turn, they were impossible to stop. And the lessons of World War I, about the dangers of unchecked nationalism, military build-up and complex alliances, still resonate with us today. In the end, millions of lives were lost and the world was changed forever. The question remains, have we truly learned from the causes of World War I? If you found this video insightful, please like, subscribe and share. Let us know in the comments what other historical events you'd like us to explore. Until next time, let's keep questioning the past to better understand the present.